Now, Hans, you've been involved with Alibaba from very, very early on, and I'm curious what you think about a Trump presidency, how you really think it could impact Alibaba and our relationship with China.
I think in general, what will happen is that it would, no matter what happened on the trade side, the company that can bypass the middleman, increase efficiency in the supply chain, can withstand any increased costs in transactions. It's too early to tell what President Trump-elect is going to do, but it seems like getting a fair trade instead of stop-down trade is more the direction where it is going. So again, we favor companies that can bypass the middleman, increase efficiency of the supply chain to be able to do well over the next 4 years.
Yet, Selina, sort of explain this idea that Alibaba, as Bloomberg has reported, would be perhaps disproportionately affected by Trump's, at least the policies that he's discussed and not implemented yet, but that Alibaba would suffer more than Baidu or Tencent. Why?
Between Baidu, Alibaba, and Tencent, Alibaba has the most significant portion of their business where there's cross-border flow of goods. There are, even though it's a smaller proportion, there are U.S. consumers purchasing from the wholesale platform, from the retail platform, and there are people in China consuming goods from the U.S. So if Donald Trump actually implemented some of the things he had said on the campaign trail, for instance, slapping tariffs on China that are as high as 45%, that would have a devastating impact on Chinese companies. But it would also have a devastating impact likely on U.S. companies, because if that tariff were implemented, China would probably retaliate, and that would increase the cost of goods for consumers around the world.
Hans, John Chen, CEO of BlackBerry, said earlier that escalation to a trade war would be completely dumb. Do you realistically think that Trump is going to, impose these tariffs, impose these sanctions? Do you think he will go to that extent?
As a former businessman, and he has done a lot of business across the world, you can tell that Chinese consumption is the single biggest driver of growth worldwide. A lot of American brands will benefit from selling to that. We're investing in Airbnb. They're doing extremely well in China. We see more and more companies from the U.S. will benefit from that consumption. So I think any administration would figure out a way to make the trade more beneficial for U.S. rather than have a complete stop down.
And is it true that you predicted a Trump win? Someone told me that. It's easy to say after the fact. I don't have evidence of it, but that's what I heard.
A year and a quarter ago, we did have an internal discussion, and we thought Trump had a good chance of winning. We may have personal feelings. That's a separate issue, but there seemed to be the moves seem to be there for some kind of correction.